last administration.
He wouldn't support doing it unilaterally.
His intention is for Congress to vote to raise the debt limit. Let me go to April, and then we'll go. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Two questions. One on a topic we haven't talked about in a while, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Where is that? We understand progressives may be now some of the holdup as it relates to that. They don't. If they're saying if they don't get qualified immunity, they don't want it at all. Then I want to ask about Haiti. Is there going to be an American delegation or someone from this administration attending the funeral of the assassinated president this Friday? And also, Greg Meeks, the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said that he convinced the White House to stop calling for the elections to be held on September 26th, to push it back because of the intimidation from gangs. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, first, I would say we will have a delegation. It's still being finalized. As soon as it's being finalized, we will provide that to all of you. I will restate on elections what I said last week. It is that it is vital for Haiti's leaders to come together to chart a united path forward, to move forward with the election as soon as they are confident about the public health and from the public health and security perspective. That remains our position. And then your last question was about police reform. I would say, April, that the most effective role we can play from here is by leaving space for the negotiators to have those discussions. We understand there are a range of views of what this should look like, and obviously Congresswoman Bass and Senator Booker and Senator Scott are the primary negotiators here. We're going to leave them the space to continue to hopefully make progress.
I'll go back just once on Haiti again. The issue of the gangs, the intimidation by the gangs, voter suppression, if you will, in Haiti. What do you say to that? And is the United States going to do something to help stand up those elections? Again, Condi Rice in the Bush administration traveled to Haiti under blue helmet support from the UN, secure support, to stand up, to try to help to stand up democracy there. Is there going to be a move to suppress the gangs, to bring forward these free and fair elections?
Well, April, from the beginning, we've provided, and I can get you the exact number, but I think it's around $75 million in assistance to Haiti, including for supporting democracy. And obviously, we're going to work with international organizations to support in any way we can fair and free elections in Haiti. Go ahead.
First of all, happy 6 months, and this is about that. A follow-up to Kelly, what she was saying. I spoke to members of the Democratic caucus last night who think that even 6 months in, our democracy is hanging by a thread. Is the president aware of that sentiment among the Democratic caucus, and what will he do about it?
Well, I think the president has given multiple speeches where he has conveyed the risk that a lack of legislation on voting rights and a lack of action on voting rights has to our democracy. So, all right, we got to move on, Brian, because we've got limited time. Karen, go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Last week you talked about how influential somebody like Olivia Rodrigo could be to get people vaccinated. Did the president ask any of the Buccaneers today to do any public messaging or anything coordinating with the administration on vaccines?
I don't have anything more for you on private asks. Wouldn't have come directly from the president, but if we have anything more to convey to you about COVID, the use of celebrities in COVID, we will share more. We'll have more.
And one on infrastructure. The president yesterday in his remarks said twice about the bipartisan package, we shook hands on it. And he repeated himself for emphasis. Was he sending a message to Republicans that he expects them to follow through on what was discussed at that meeting and the agreement he said they shook hands on?
He was making clear that he's going to stand by his commitment, and like he said and did yesterday, they shook hands on this agreement, and we're confident they're going to deliver because he stands by his commitments and agreements, and that's who he's always been as an elected official. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know you don't want to get into the specifics of the infrastructure negotiations on pay-fors, but how confident is the president that the bipartisan framework, when it becomes an actual bill, that it will be fully paid for? And how important is that to him? Is it a red line to him that it be fully paid for, or would he be willing to accept legislation that CBO says isn't fully paid for?
Well, he's proposed a range of ways to pay for his proposals and his packages, and those discussions are ongoing. I'm not going to set new red lines today, but I would just say there's ongoing discussions, and we're grateful to the work of Democrats and Republicans in being a part of them. Go ahead. Okay, I think we got to go in a second.
Can you elaborate on what you mean when you say regular testing for those who are close to the president? So is the president and senior staffers, are they receiving those daily PCR testing that we saw a lot during the pandemic?
I think we've provided this information publicly to all of you, which we can recirculate if that's helpful, but I'm tested twice a week, many are tested twice a week, some are tested once a week, that's what I mean, we're all vaccinated.
It's not tested daily.
He's tested every 2 weeks, typically, or around every 2 weeks, and that's part of our protocols.
Is there a need to re-up the daily testing in light of the breakthrough cases?
Nothing has changed about our protocols. I think what the big takeaway here should be is that we have protocols in place. They're stringent protocols. They include a range of requirements of our staff, and they also include abiding by public health guidelines, and that's something we'll continue to implement from here. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen.